Down the outside, Russian Camelot, Twilight Payment at the 300 metres, still 3 lengths Finch, Tiger Moth, the chosen one, running on with Russian Camelot and Persan. Twilight Payment tries to break their hearts, Tiger Moth wearing him down with the chosen one. It's Twilight Payment, Tiger Moth still trying to get there. Twilight Payment, what a ride, what a win in a cup we'll never forget. Has won it from Tiger Moth and Prince of Arran third. For fourth photos, the chosen one, Persan from Very Elegant, and behind them Sir Dragonet, Russian Camelot, Ash Run, Finch and Ocean X. Behind them Miami Bound Warning, Vow and Declare.
It wasn't a win in the Melbourne Cup to the chosen one, but it was an almighty effort to be able to finish into fourth position. And certainly we've spoken a lot to connections around this horse that, look, he was going to run a race. He had the barrier draw and he was so good in the Caulfield Cup. And those blinkers worked its wonders, and he proved that he could stay the 3,200 metres. And Andrew Forsman is with us as well. You must have got excited once he got into the clear that, gee, he's going to run one heck of a race here. And then he's just paddled that last bit a little bit, but he's been able to grip on and hold on to that fourth position.
Yeah, BP, it was a great run. Obviously, we wrapped with the horse. Got a lovely ride from Daniel, gave him every chance from the draw, and yeah, just a real thrill to see him loom at the top of the straight like that and give us a good sight.
Great to hear, and I've also seen through social media that he's back home in New Zealand now, the chosen one.
Yep, he's back home resting up. So yeah, obviously we'll sort of give him a little bit of a break now. Won't leave him out too long, being a stallion, and prepare for Sydney in the autumn.
All right, well, what a thrill it was, and look, backed up what he did in the Caulfield, and what a campaign, really, yeah, Andrew. You run third in the Caulfield Cup and then finish fourth in the Melbourne Cup. You'd certainly say there's a number of ticks next to that preparation.
Yeah, obviously at that level, as you know, BP, there's no hiding, and it's very competitive, those big fields, and they're all quality horses. So, yeah, to run, right up there in the placings is, speaks a lot for his performances this time around for sure.
All right, well, let's try and find some winners for today, Andrew, and you've got a great chance to pull off the Group 1 at Christchurch with Aegon, who's now the new favourite for the race, who's situated at $2.50. Let's talk about his progress going into this weekend's race. He's a horse who was winning the Hawke's Bay Guineas, as we know. That's such a key, important race heading towards Christchurch. How's everything gone post the Hawke's Bay Guineas?
Yeah, very well. I think straight after Hawke's Bay, we made the decision not to give him another run. We didn't think he needed it, and I'm glad we did that, because the Sarden was obviously a pretty tricky race. It was on pace dominated, and I think it would have been a pretty tough run for him. So, no, we've just kept him ticking over. He's pretty lightly framed and mature horse still. He will sort of develop in time, but he's a horse at the moment that doesn't need a lot of work, and pretty easy to keep up to the mark, really.
And getting to 1,600 metres with how he's really savaged the line here looks to be very much ideal for him. How do you see the race with where he's going to sit? Because it's a race where it does possess speed, obviously from out wide with Nido Seymour, and also one of your other runners in the race in Unition. That should play out nicely for him?
You'd think so, as long as they don't find their spots too early, I suppose. It depends how quickly those two from the outside work across. Maybe an inside horse or two might kick up, and then they might, settle into their positions pretty quickly. And if they can steady it round the bend and then sprint off the turn, that might make it hard. But look, he's drawn 4. As long as they go solidly enough, he's going to get his chance anyway. And yeah, hopefully they do, and he can hit the line well.
And a great opportunity for Lee Thinnes as well, because he did ride Sacred Falls to win the 2,000 Guineas, and with this bloke being by Sacred Falls, and Lee Thinnes taking the ride.
Yeah, sort of relieved to have Leith on in a lot of ways, because we didn't think we were going to have him. Was not an option just coming out last week. So, yeah, that's worked out really well. He's a good big race rider. I think he suits the horse, and from that good draw, he'll give him every chance.
All right. How confident are you? I mean, I know it's a Group 1 race, but how's your gut feeling around this one with him?
Good, actually, which worries me a little bit, makes me a little bit nervous. Just want the race to roll around and be done with now, to be honest.
All right, well, let's talk about Unition, who's the other runner in the race for the stable. What have you made of his runs, especially his most recent run in the Watercree Stakes at Riccarton?
Really good. He was sort of probably exposed and left in front a long way out, and which is probably a little bit of a fault of his own. The way he sort of jumps and puts himself right there, he's vulnerable, and probably worries us a little bit again from the outside draw that he's going to naturally just put himself up on pace, and we just love to see him one day just get a little bit of cover. And I think in time his racing manners will sort of improve the more racing he has. But still a little bit raw, prone to do things a little bit. He's a little bit wayward at times, and he hasn't long been a gelding either. He was so I think he's still figuring things out a little bit. And that draw will be tricky. If he could get some cover, which I probably don't see happening, that would be ideal. But he is really well. He looks great, and he has got a bit of quality, and wouldn't surprise me to see him in the finish.
Okay, well, let's move on to your other chance at Riccarton today, Andrew, and it is in the Metropolitan. I speak of Robusto, look, a horse by Zed, who comes into the race with 5 wins next to her name, and most recently was a winner as well, beating home Lincoln King, who's a race rival. How's she gone? Is this a race you've always sort of had in mind to get down to Christchurch and look towards these 2 features coming up?
Not really. She sort of put her hand up by winning well at Te Rapa a couple of weeks ago, so that sort of just swayed us to think, well, it's black type. She's still in the New Zealand Cup, so it's worth going down and having a crack. We don't know whether she'll sort of run out a strong 2,500 metres on a big track. She was handed the race at Te Rapa, to be fair. So, look, she's always showing good ability, and it'll be interesting to see, how she does run out a really strong 2,500 metres. She's bred to. Not an overly big mare, but it'll be interesting to see how she measures up today for sure.
And very adaptable. I mean, she's a horse, we've seen her win when the tracks get that forgiveness, and obviously being by Zed, that kicks in, but no problem with her being on top of the ground as well.
No, she actually pinged really well and looked good in her action at Te Rapa, and was, relatively quick track that day. So, shouldn't be any issues with the track conditions for sure. All
right, then we see Robusto sitting around that $10 mark in the New Zealand Cup futures at the moment, with Lincoln King at $6 and Gorbachev at $6. But so much more is going to happen towards that market after the running of the Metropolitan race number 10. We're going to move to your runners now. Te Rapa, Andrew, well, first of all, we'll go to Aegon in race number 5. Look, this horse was able to put a bit of a demolition job on a maiden race at Matamata on a heavy 10 surface. What is she going to be like on a better track today?
Yeah, I suppose that's the query. Coming back from a heavy track to better track is always a bit of a concern. I think it's a winnable race, and she'll get her chance. I think with the claim of Massa, I think she'll jump, run, and as long as there's genuine given the ground, she'll be fine.
Yeah, and Massa's going to certainly help as well, getting that 3 kilo claim and give her that opportunity. As you said, it's probably a race that it's not too much of a step up from the maiden to the 65 with how the race sort of pans out.
Yeah, and the only query is coming from, obviously she got through the heavy ground last time well, but now she's got to do it on a dead fight.
Okay, we'll move on to your next of your chances now, Andrew, in race number 7. I want to jump straight to VCC. What happened last week?
She just hung badly the whole way around. First run right-handed for a long time. We certainly didn't see that coming, but all we can do is go back to the drawing board. She effectively didn't have a run, so back to Te Rapa, good barrier draw, and obviously left-handed. So expected to run well and good each-way price, I thought.
With the barrier draw, is she a type that you might try and ride a bit more positively?
Try to, but she just doesn't have that early speed. So obviously we'll try and be as handy as we can from that draw, but that still might mean she's sort of in the back half of the field regardless.
All right, and you've also got Show Beal in the race, stepping up in distance now into this preparation, 4th run in.
Yeah, she's been a touch disappointing, but I think she's looking for ground. Gets that today. Obviously, the barrier draw is the hard thing for her, where she's going to end up in the run. So I guess that'll just have to work itself out. But look, if she does get back to her best form, then obviously she's going to be very hard to beat.
Move on to race number 8 now, Andrew, in Pearlescent. She's a mare that has visited the stallion, and she's a horse that finished into 3rd position last time out on the heavy surface. She's a race winner here. Look, there's a couple of good reasons why she can be an each-way chance.
Yeah, I think probably Te Rapa, when it's quick, she sort of struggled a little bit. Her racing pattern makes it tough for her. She doesn't have a lot of early speed. She gets under pressure when she needs to be quickening. And those little traits make it tough. I think good barrier draw on 5, good strong rider on. She's certainly going to get her chance, that's for sure. And hopefully, visiting the stallion will just sort of switch her on, and maybe she can just run through that flat patch and travel better than she has in the past.
And 3 chances in the 9th race. First of all, Moroni, a horse who comes into the race with a good placing on the middle day of the Hawke's Bay Carnival.
Yep, he's come through it really well. We've just been waiting for a little bit of give in the ground. He could have run at Owsley on Tuesday, but we thought it might have been a little bit firm for him. Wide draw, he'll have to do a little bit of work, but can race up on pace. But no, I expect him to be competitive and a big improver for that first up run.
Enjoy the show and improve a second up, Andrew, with a low gate?
Yeah, same scenario really. He needed that run first up, just peaked on it and battled late. But up to the mile, with the benefit of that, should be competitive.
All right, and you've also got Darcy Q in the race at around the $20 mark, eh? What's your thoughts around her?
She was a bit better last time, but on a slower sort of track. She does need genuine given the ground, but she is one you'd never discount. Just it depends on what sort of run she gets in the race.
Okay, I didn't mind Crafty Jess there, Andrew, earlier on in the program. Is that worth $1 today?
Yeah, back to Zarafa, I think, is the key. She was disappointing at Pukekohe last week, but she's had sort of, I think, 4 or 5 runs now at Pukekohe and hasn't really fired a shot. So back to a track she likes. Smallish field, hopefully she can just jump from an awkward draw, put herself on pace, and yeah, good each way chance. All
right, what's the best today, Andrew?
Hadn't even thought about that, to be honest. Maybe we'll go Aegon.
Aegon? Yeah, I thought you'd say that. Seemed you sounding pretty confident of a big showing anyway. Well, all the best to you and Murray. Good luck today.
Thanks, BP. Cheers.
Good man. Andrew Forsman, we thank him for his time going through his team of runners in both islands. A chance to win a Group 1 with Aegon and also Unition and the 2,000 guineas and strong representation out of Te Rapa. We take another break, and on the other side, we'll link in with Jamie Richards.